Hello, welcome back to another video. You join me on the ground here at East Midlands Airport in the UK. Just gone 8 o'clock in the morning and we're flying this 737-800 with Jet 2 down to Dalaman in Turkey. We've got an estimated flight time of 3 hours and 42 minutes and we are cruising at 37,000 feet. So I've got some checklists ready to go. And let's get on board, let's get flying. Okay, so you join me in the cockpit here. All I've really done here is turn on the battery and the some lights so we can see what's going on. So, parking brake is set. Battery is guarded and closed. Standby power is over here somewhere. Can't even find it. Yeah, there it is. Standby power is guarded and closed. We don't need any fuel pumps at the moment. We are going to go down here into the FMC and get the load, the weights all loaded up. So let me just quickly pull up my performance calculator that will tell us all the fuel and where we need to put people for weight distribution. So let's quickly enter the fuel. So it says for the fuel we're going to need 12.4 tons, so 1.2.4. Bring a fuel truck over. For passengers today, let's have a quick look. PMDG, catering, duty free, packs. Get everyone loaded up. Load onboard performance tool, and we've got 115 on board today, so not awfully busy, and we'll get those guys loaded. And in terms of the cargo or the bags, we've got 2857 in the front. That doesn't seem quite right for a PMDG one. Suppose that works. 2857. It's going to limit it, yeah. We'll do 2000 in the front and 857 in the back. That's okay. Let's get the fuel on board. And now that's going. We are going to let's have a look. APU, we don't need that yet because we are on ground power, as you can see. Position lights are on and steady. Logo light, we'll turn it on because it's a bit dark. Cabin lights as required, not needed. In here at least, the cabin is all done by the flight attendants. Emergency exit lights are guarded and closed, which is just here. Passenger signs, we'll put the chime on, but we'll leave seatbelts off because we are currently refueling. Packs can go to auto, and the APU can go on in preparation for that. IRS mode selectors, they can go to auto. Like that, or navigation, so I say not auto, that's the packs. FMC, right, okay, so we're going to go down here, get the FMC loaded up. So yeah, that's fine. So at EGNX, which is East Midlands, and we are going on the left GPS. and we're going to Dalaman, which is LTBS. Okay, and I believe we're doing runway 27 out of here, but I could be wrong. Yeah, runway 27, that's not changed. There we go. Departure and arrival, 27, and we're doing the Daventry 3 November departure. Next page. And I'm going to quickly plonk in the routing. So, from Daventry, we're doing Papa 166 to Papa 155. That should take us via Banto. We're doing Papa 137. That should take us via Sidva or Sidford. And then we're going Redford. There we go. Tacha. Tacha. Next page, we're going to Valco. Valko. Laris. Laras. Tivun. Tivun. Then we're going to SMA. ESAMA. Osbit. OSBIT. Next we're going to Tenlo. TEN. No. LO. Then we're going to Lamsey. LAMSI. And that'll be the northern one. Sydney. SITNI. Then Sassel. SASAL. Next we've got Babbitt. BABIT. That'll be the eastern one. Next we're going to Nepos. NEPOS. POS. Then Nisva. NISVA. Then NIKTI. NIKTI. Then Uniform November 127. Uniform Tango 489. And Sonup. SONUP. And that takes us into the Sonup 1 Papa. 1 Delta, sorry, today. 1 Delta arrival for ILS Yankee 01. Make sure there's no discontinuities. Activate that. That's all good. And we'll do the performance page once we've got loaded up. You can see the fuel's coming on board. Everyone's loaded, so we can get these stairs off and the bus can be gone. That's all fine. And as soon, well, we can, we'll start the APU. We are going 37,000 feet each day, so I'll set that now. There we go. And I'll set 300 for the landing altitude, just in case we need to come back to East Midlands Airport. I'll set 37 down here as well, because we're not using any ATC today, so we're going straight up to our cruising altitude. We'll let VNAV sort out all the restraints for us. Very nice. Okay, we can get rid of all this. And all that is sorted. So we'll go on to the APU power once it comes available. By that blue light just there will light up momentarily. There we go, APU is available, so we'll go on to the APU power and turn on the seatbelts. Clear that. And everything is now set. We can release the ground power. And if we go outside, we can see that the stairs are departing. There we go. Very nice morning, very nice sunrise just behind the aircraft here. Looks really nice. Ground power's been disconnected. So, we're going to go in here. We're going to set 2000 on here, which is the VFR squawk code. I'm just going to set all these to VHF1. It's just something I personally like to do. And we're going to go back to our performance. And our zero fuel weight today is 55. That gives us a gross weight of 67.4 tons. Let me just quickly plumb that into the performance. 60. Where's my keyboard? 67,400. There we go. And 16.1 for the CG. 16.1. Runway. We're going 27. We're going to come on to the Whiskey 1 intersection. Dry runway. Let's have a look. What are the conditions? Winds are 360 at 11. 360 degrees at 11. You can't see this at the moment, but I'm just making sure everything's plumbed in. 5 degrees, and the pressure is 1011. Flaps 5 for departure, that's all good. So, reserves. For fuel, we've got a reserve of 1. And a cost index of 74. Okay, we're cruising at flight level 370 today. And a cruise wind, which I'll talk you through. So I'm looking at the waypoints on my flight plan now. I'm looking at the top of climb winds, which are 359 at 71. So that's going to accurately estimate our top of climb. And then we need to go to our legs page, route data, and I don't think it's took it in just yet. Legs, route data, has it done it? There we go, performance, N1. Right, we'll come back to that. We can do that when we're climbing out. That's not a big thing to worry about. Performance, N1 limit. So for today's takeoff, we are doing a 22k D rate at 32 degrees selected temperature, which is correct. We'll do flaps 5 for departure today, and 6.61 on the trim. We'll do that now. And just cross-checking the V-speeds on the performance calculator. We've got 143, 143 and 148. On the FMC we've got 142, 143, 147, so that's fine. They are within 1 knot. And we're going 147 for the climb out. Go flight directors on. We'll set runway heading, which at East Midlands is 268. And we'll go VNAV and LNAV. We'll arm them. Quickly set these for the course as well, just in case we need to come back. We've got an ILS ready to go. Excellent. We'll now pop the brakes to RTO, and we'll get ready for our pushback. We're going straight out, straight pushback today, and we'll start the pushback. Anti-collision light can go on.
Cockpit to ground.
Fuel pumps on.
and start tail straight out.
Roger that. Ready for push.
Okay, we'll release the brakes.
Release the brakes, please.
Brakes released.
And we'll start pushing back momentarily. There we go. Okay, pushback is going, so we'll go ground. We'll come down here, and we have N2 rotation. We're looking for 25%, and then we will introduce the fuel. And there's 25, introduce the fuel. Make sure the EGT starts rising, which it is. Make sure keep an eye on the EGT. N1 is rising, N2 is rising. Oil pressure, oil temp, that's all looking good. Quickly set that over. Oops, there we go. And 56%, you should hear this start to click off. There it goes. And we'll start engine number 2. Not engine number 1, sorry. Parking brake set, N2. We have N1 rotation as well.
Brake set.
Waiting for 25%. And there's 25, introduce the fuel. We have EGT rising. N1 is rising. Oil pressure is coming up and oil temperature is coming up as well. Let's quickly set the current pressure, which is 1011. And what I like to do, and just quickly move me thing out the way, is I like to have that on the progress page so I can get an idea of the timings. Okay, there's the starter clicked off, so we'll go onto the engine generators. Taxi light, APU off, engines continuous, packs to auto, isolation valve auto, APU bleed off, hydraulics on, yaw damper on, set that to engine 2, and everything's looking good up there. We'll go to the systems page, everything's looking good with the engines, and we'll do flaps 5. Which, there we go, we'll watch that to make sure hydraulic B doesn't drop lower than 90%. There's 90%, and we have flaps 5 green light indicated, and we'll do flight control checks. So we've got 4 left, 4 right, neutral, 4 down, 4 up, and neutral, rudder left, and rudder right, neutral. Flight controls are free and correct, and lower DU is blank. We are ready to taxi. So, let's release those brakes. Brakes are released. Apply a little bit of thrust, and we'll make a left-hand turn here down towards runway 27. Here we go. So I'm just looking at the checklist now. So we've got engine generators 1 and 2 are on, probe heats on, wing anti-ice, engine anti-ice are not required, packs are auto, isolation valve auto, APU bleed was off, APU is off, engine start switches are continuous, flaps are required, elevator trim was set, flight controls for incorrect, recall, let's do a recall check, recall is correct and checked, Lure DU is blank, taxi lights are on, runway turn off lights are not needed. Okay, let's taxi out to the runway. On this very nice morning, look at this. Very nice weather. Got a few clouds in the area, but nothing to worry about at all. That does look very nice. So we're going to take the first intersection. We don't need the whole runway today. And our minimum flat retraction altitude stays 1,106 feet. Get back on the taxiway. But yeah, we'll be clear of that by the time we wrap up. So, looking at the departure today, we are doing the Daventry 3 November departure, I believe. Yep. Okay, so we're going to come out of runway 27, make a left-hand turn towards 223 degrees to the first waypoint, which is above 3,000 and below 9,000. And we have to stay below 9,000 until cleared up or past the DME 23 in Daventry, which is fine with us. Okay, we're coming up here. We're going to turn on landing lights. When we turn off, taxi can go off. Strobe and steady on. Recall is checked. I'm going to set up this how I like it, which is that this side, and then over there we'll have that. We'll go for the transponder to TARA. Arm the auto throttle. Quick check on final. I can't see anyone out there. I've not got any traffic on, so we shouldn't have any issues. Yep, we are clear on final, and we are clear down the runway. Okay. Before takeoff checklist, we'll line up on the runway, we'll have a quick check. Okay, so stop on the runway. Very nice. Okay, parking brake set. So, before takeoff checklist, parking brake set, fuel flow is reset, central fuel pumps are needed, they are turned on, de-icing not needed, cabin lights as required, flight instruments are checked, engine instruments are also checked. Takeoff data V1, let's just quickly have a look at them again. So V1 142, VR is 143, and V2 is 147. They are all checked. Navigation equipment is all looking good. Takeoff clearance is required, which we have received. Like I say, we're not using any ATC today, so that's not a worry. So landing lights are on, strobe lights are on, taxi lights off, transponder is TARA, traffic is pushed on, and we'll start the clock. And let's get going. So, parking brake release, engines up to about 40%. As soon as we start rolling, just there, we'll start the clock. Engines up to 40%. There, engines stabilised, and toga. Takeoff thrust set. Airspeed lights checked.
Airspeed's live.
80 knots checked. Throttle hold thrust normal.
80 knots.
Slight crosswind, we'll correct for that. A heavy crosswind actually. V1 rotate.
Rotate. V2.
V. Plus 3 gear up. Now personally I quite like to hand fly up to about 9,000 feet on this departure, which is what we're going to do today. So we'll pitch for 20 degrees, follow the flight director now, which is looking nice. Flight director is our LNAV and VNAV, so we'll start our left hand turn. Slight nose up. And we'll follow the flight director now. Be nice. And flaps 1. And flaps check, flaps up. And we'll disarm the auto brakes, set the gear to the off position, and we'll continue to hand fly the aircraft. As you can see, coming up through some clouds in a moment. That shouldn't be too much of a worry. Again, just still hand flying the aircraft at this point. Start that next left hand turn. Slight overspeed, we'll pitch up to correct that. And that's looking very nice coming out of those clouds. Just trim the aircraft. We'll start rolling out. Very nice. So we're just passing 6,000 feet, we can go standard pressure on the altimeter. There we go. Still looking good on that flight director, and it's leveling us off here at 9,000 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly plonk on the autopilot. The autopilot is now on, and we're going to clean up the aircraft as much as we can. So turn off lights are off, engine starts are to off, logo light is off, everything else is looking good for now. Yep, can't see anything else that we need to do as of now. As soon as we pass 10,000 feet, we'll go landing lights off and seatbelts can be released. And what I'll do now actually is what I was mentioning earlier, is if we go to the legs page, go to route data, and these winds, these are the winds for top of climb, which are not the same as the cruise winds. So the average wind today is 276 at 50. So now that will give us an accurate timing for the cruise as well as the top of climb. As you can see, it's holding us here at 9,000 feet just before we start that left hand turn. And it's currently 8:41 AM UTC time, and we're expected to get there at 12 minutes past 12 UTC time. So yeah, fair distance, fair flight day. Like I say, approximately 3 hours and 40 something minutes, so it's not too bad down to Dalaman today. Once we start this left hand turn, we should start climbing up to 10,000 feet. Oh, okay, it's taking us up now, that's interesting. Before, when I've done this departure, it takes me up after once we start the left-hand turn, but that's not a problem to me. Maybe I've not been setting it correctly. But yeah, no, that is quite accurate for the chart that I'm looking at. So there's 10,000 feet. We'll go landing lights off. Change that down. Seatbelts can go off. Ding the cabin. And everything else is looking good. So, we are climbing up to our cruising altitude of 37,000 feet. And I will talk to you again when we start our top of descent. See you later. Hello, welcome back. You join me here. We are still fair away from top of descent. We've just passed the 3-hour mark. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to set everything up for descent ready now, just so you can see how I go about doing it myself. Just so you can see how I input the winds, how to make sure I descend to the correct timing, stuff like that. So we're going to go down to the FMC here, and we're going to click on the descent page. Now you can see our top of descent is in 130 nautical miles, and if I've got Navigraph charts open. If I quickly pull up my arrival airport, which in this case is Dalaman, it will tell us the current weather over there, so the pressure, the wind speeds, stuff like that. We're just loading up at the moment, bear with me, it's taking a moment. Here we go. So airports, you can't see this at the moment, but I'm just looking for Dalaman now. There it is. And we'll go for the charts as well, because we'll need that. Our standard arrival, which is the 1 Delta, and then onto the weather page. So for our approach, or arrival, sorry, I believe it's 12,000 feet for the transition altitude. Let me double check that, that's quite important. Approach, we're doing the Yankee. Yes, 12,000 feet for the approach. So where it says transition level, we'll put 120 for 12,000. There we go. And for weather, so we're looking at, this is at the location, it's 1018 for the pressure. And then we're going to go to our sim brief, scroll down to the winds, and we're going to look for the descent winds, which are just here. So at flight level 310, 200 and 100, so 10,000 feet, like that. So the winds at 310 are 293 at 47. Then we've got 301, and that's at 35. And then we've got 2901 at 22. So because I've plugged these in here, it will now give me more accurate top of descent. So you can see that's brought it forward a little bit, or maybe that's just from us moving, I don't know. But that will basically bring us down on the descent to exactly where we need to be, reduce the winds, and it will calculate that for us. So that's that bit sorted. I will see you about 20 miles at the top of descent, and we will start our descent. We'll sort out the ILS, landing altitude, stuff like that. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Hello, welcome back again. We are 10 miles from our top of descent now. I'm just going to pop us down a little bit, just give us some time to sort everything out. So let's have a look. we need to be descending to a final altitude of 2,800 feet. We'll go straight down. Our VNAV can handle the restraints for us. So that's 2,800 feet set in there. Let me just realign the heading bug. So let me just realign that. There we go. And our approach course will be 010 degrees. Like that. And we'll do that again the other side. You should see the aircraft will start descending momentarily. Oops. There we go. And there goes the VNAV path. And you can see the aircraft has started to descend. So, whilst we are descending now, what I'm going to do is have a look at our estimated weight for when we get there. So we can have a look at the fuel. So we need to go to the init ref, and we're doing 58 point, what will it be for, so 58.6, so 58,600. Let me just quickly plop that into the performance calculator. So we're doing the runway 01 cat 1, 2.5, dry conditions. The wind at the moment in Dalaman is looking like it's 30 degrees at 6 knots, 30 degrees at 6, and the temperature is at 10 degrees Celsius, and the pressure is 1018. Okay, we're going to do flaps 30 on this landing, and we're doing full reverses. And what did I say? 58.6, 58,600, and the VREF would be +5. That gives us a VREF at 30 of 140 +5, which is exactly what we've got there. So that's good. I always like to add the 5 on so I know where to aim for on the speed. Okay, so we've plonked that in there. That's looking good. We're looking maybe 20 minutes till we get there, but these views flying in over Turkey down here looking really nice. Really nice views. Okay, so let's have a look at the landing altitude. Landing altitude is 20 feet, so we'll set that to 50, like that. Everything's looking good up there. As you can see, the speed is being maintained, and we're just under the glide path, but that's fine. So we're just going to have a look. You can see the route that we're going to be coming in on, which is cross-checked with my charts that I've got. So we're going to go plan mode. I'm just going to get rid of the yoke, and we'll go 20. There we go. And we're just going to fly through the route. So as you can see, we're basically going to be doing a down parallel to the runway. Then when it gets to here, going around here, you can see it's a bit awkward, but it should be okay. And then into there. That is the runway 01. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go down to the fix down here, Lima Tango Bravo Sierra LTBS, which is Dalaman, and we want to have a 5-mile ring around the airport, or the threshold, so to say, and a 10-mile. That gives us some distance for like deploying the flaps, slowing down, gear down, stuff like that. So they're always nice to have. You should be able to see them on the display here. There they are, just that green little dotted line just on there. Okay, so if I'm just having a look at the charts now, we've got a final approach altitude captured the ILS at 2,800 feet. Our minimums will be 200 feet above ground, so we'll do radio altimeter at 200 feet. We'll quickly set that. That is set, and everything's looking good for now. Have a look. So I'm going to quickly tune up the localizer frequency, which is 110.1. 110.1. We'll plop that up there. 110.1. That's okay, that's all set. Turn them on. Okay. Okay, so we should be down, wheels down, in approximately 15 minutes. So I will come back to you once we pass under 10,000 feet. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I have brought you back just a little bit early. We're just passing through 16,000 feet now, for a couple of reasons. First of all, just going to talk about the auto brake situation at this runway, and well, also these views. Look at these mountains coming into Dalaman. Dalaman is over here somewhere towards the ocean. It should be on this coastline around here somewhere. But yes, so when it comes to landing, we're going to go auto brake 1. We don't even need any auto brakes for this, but I always like to add some auto brakes in just in case we need them. We can always cancel them if needed. We're also going to have a quick look through the descent checklist. So, de-icing is not required. Landing altitude is checked. Recall, let's quickly check that. Recall is checked. Radial temperature, we've set that to 200 feet. And auto brake is set as required. Altimeter, we're going to change that momentarily, passing through 12,000 feet. And once we're below 10,000, we'll go a speed of 250 knots, which this aircraft will go 240. So it goes 10 knots under, just to give us some safe room. Okay, so once we pass under 12,000 feet, we'll set the local pressure. Yeah, these views look awesome. Is that the runway in front of us? No. Can't see the runway just yet. It should be around here somewhere, over this way. Somewhere, but I can't see it myself. As you can see, the aircraft is slowing us down now. And I'm just going to quickly keep up with the heading of the aircraft. So when it comes to landing, we're going to have a 6-knot headwind with a 2-knot crosswind component, which isn't too bad. We can, yeah, that's more than okay. Let's see, can we see the airport? Yep, there's the runway just down there, I believe. There it is. It's quite blurry from back here, but that is indeed the runway. We'll be coming in over the ocean, over the beach. Okay, there's that right hand turn, and we'll change to the local pressure, which is 1018. Again, just keep up with the heading of the aircraft. Okay, that's looking good. Set that there. Okay, 3 hours and 27 minutes into the flight. Everything's going well, everything's looking good. I'm just going to deploy the speed brakes. I've got a wing view set up so you can see this. So I've got a speed brake lever on my throttles that I've got in my left hand. As you can see, they've deployed on the wing, and that is an amazing view. Look at that. I've flown into Dalaman a few times myself in real life, and the views, also into Antalya, the views going into both airports are absolutely incredible, especially with these mountains and, you know, the coastline. Even flying out, they look incredible, you know, and it does look like this. Very impressive. Okay, we'll go back to the cockpit view now. And actually I'm going to deploy the speed brakes a bit more. I'm just going to keep an eye on that speed. It's going to hold our altitude there just while we slow down, which is absolutely fine. Just making sure we don't get too high on the glide path on the way down. There we go. And we'll start descending again now. I'm just going to slowly bring those spoilers back down. And yeah, so once we get within 10 miles of the airport, we'll go flaps 5. Once we get into about 7 miles range, we'll go flaps 15 gear down, and 5 miles we'll go flaps 30 sorry, for landing. So we'll go landing flaps, and these green circles on the display will help us with the vicinity from the threshold of runway 01. That's the whole reason for them. So we are looking at a heading of 010 on final, but we're just going to keep up with the heading of the aircraft for now. We need to turn our landing lights on for now, and we'll put seatbelt signs on in the cabin. Everything else is okay for now. So, passing below 10,000 feet, we've got speed is 250 under, which is checked. Landing lights are on, passenger signs are on. We've checked the weather. We know there's going to be a slight headwind, slight crosswind, but there's nothing to worry about. No clouds in the vicinity and no rough patches that we can see. So it should be quite a nice approach. And next we've got the approach checklist, but we can do that when we get under 5,000 feet, sorry, which is when I quite like to do it, because then we can check our altimeter, things like that. So it's quite bright with this sun. I've got my my little sun visor thing that I can use. So I'm just going to, on the captain's display, zoom it in. I'm going to put that on. There we go. That will give us an idea of where we are in terms of the terrain and how we're looking. Over there, just so you guys can see it as well in terms of the descent rate and other things like that. We are a little bit high at the moment, so I'm just going to pull out those spoilers a little bit, make it descend a bit quicker. And as you can see, we are now at 220 knots, so the aircraft is responding correctly to the restraints, which is good to see. Okay, everything's looking good for now. So we're going to start making that right hand turn momentarily. Just going to pop that back up to 30 degrees of bank. Okay, there is 5,000 feet, so I'm just going to quickly brief run through the approach checklist now, just so we can get an idea of what to expect, which we will do the full procedure after the right hand turn once we get onto finals. But we've got altimeter, which is checked at 1018. As you can see, the altitude is coming back, so we're just going to get rid of those spoilers now. Localizer frequency is checked, localizer course is checked, and the next thing we need to do is arm the approach mode once we get onto the final heading. I'm going to arm the speed brakes now, there we go, just so they're ready. We don't need those, or we shouldn't need them again. Get myself all set up here. Okay. Just going to get rid of that now, we won't need it in a moment. As you can see by the timings, we had an estimated flight time of 3 hours and 42 minutes. So it looks like we made a little bit of time back, but we did have a slight quite a nice tailwind on the way down, which helped us. As you can see on the pilot's display over there showing our altitude reading, this little box on here, it's going to bring us nicely down to this constraint, and then it will take us onto the approach just there. That's 1,000 feet to go. Have a quick look out the wing. We have got the other side as well. I believe it's that one. Yeah, there we go. Looking very nice. Okay. Looks like we're heading on to the final course now, which we are, or will be momentarily. Just quickly realign the heading bug. Come on, hurry up. There we go. So as soon as we align ourselves onto the final approach, we'll arm the approach mode. And we shall make a right hand turn now. There we go. And we'll now arm the approach mode, which is that one there. Okay, approach checklist. So, altimeter is checked at 1018. Localizer frequency course is set. Approach mode is armed. And once the glide slope comes alive, we'll go gear down. It seems to have missed that waypoint slightly overshot that. Really quickly, is it going to correct itself? It is. Okay, that's fine. VOR LOC, so we've got localizer. It's not a big deal as long as we get back on course. I have the runway in sight now. So, yeah, it's a bit all over the place here. Should hopefully steady itself out momentarily. Just going to set my heading to the runway heading. There we go. Okay, that's looking okay. So we're going to go flaps 5. Let the speed come on back. Okay. And I'm just going to bring up the speed brakes just a little bit to help us. It's not looking too bad at the moment. Okay, I'm going to go and put the gear down now, just to give us some help with losing some speed. And I'm going to go flaps 15 now. There we go. So, runway turn off lights. Oh, sorry, I'll go around altitude, which is... I'll go around altitude is 4,000 feet. So I'll go around altitude, so we'll set that. We've got runway turn off lights can come on. Engines are set to continuous. Ding the cabin. Landing gear is checked down. Autopilot is required. We will sort that out now. Yeah, landing flaps, that's just passing under 1,000 feet. Okay, here we go. Let's hope I don't mess this up after this this flight. Okay, so we're going to disconnect the auto throttle. I have control of the throttles, and there's autopilot disconnect. So let's see how badly I do at this landing. 500 feet, you can see that headwind coming in. Slightly low. Check.
Plus 100.
Wide slope.
I'm following the
Wide
puppies
slope.
now, so we'll ignore
Wide
that. So
slopes.
call out. That's minimums checked. Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay. And there we go. Speed brakes are deployed. And deceleration. And there we go, not too bad I don't think. Quite a nice landing. And that's 70 knots. 60 knots manual braking. And welcome to Dalaman. Whoops. Welcome to Dalaman. We will vacate off the runway up here. And we'll get rid of those spoilers. And we will retract those flaps. Just like that. We're going to take this exit just here. And there we go. The current temperature outside is 11 degrees Celsius, and it's 12:17 p.m. 3 hours and 41 minutes, so 1 minute early. Not too bad if I say so myself. I'm going to taxi down here, and we'll take the next turning onto the apron. We'll park up at a gate. Okay, so we're just going to clean up the aircraft. So we're going to go landing lights off, turn off that on, we'll go APU on, those can go off, that can go off. Okay, open that, APU bleed can come on. And we're going to turn off the weather radar, terrain, pop that back to regular. Make sure that's turned off. And we're going to turn the transponder off. And we'll do the same this side. And we'll go and find the gate to park up at. Turn flight directors off as well, we don't need them now. There we go. So, After landing the checklist, we'll have a look through that. Transponder is off, flaps are retracted, speed brakes are down, landing lights are off, strobe lights are off, taxi lights are on, cabin lights as required, anti-ice not required, APU start, and we're going to flip over to those generators now. So we are now on APU power. I'm going to go to this one, this gate just up here. Probe heats are automatic, so they'll go off on their own. Engine start switches are off, auto brakes off, and we're going to taxi into the gate just here. Now, unfortunately, we've not got a marshaller, so we're just going to have to guess it as best as we can. Cancel that. Just going to bring us in slowly. Stop about there. I don't know how close we are. I can have a quick look. So parking brake is set. We'll go a little bit further forward. Just now we're on standard as well. I'll get rid of the taxi lights. Oops. Right, we'll creep forward just a little bit. There we go. Happy with that. So we'll set the parking brake. And we've got 2 blue, 1 red down there. Engines are dead. And we're just going to watch the engines come back, make sure they're fine. We're going to actually keep that on. Anti-ice, why haven't we got anything for anti-ice? That's okay. We're going to pop the seatbelt signs off. We're going to turn the fuel pumps off, apart from that one for the APU. The anti-collision light can come off. And I think that's us sorted. So let's quickly get the chocks installed. We'll get the jetway connected. Air conditioning, we're probably going to need that. Ground power, we'll get that. We'll get that down here as well. Cabin cleaning and baggage as well. So there we are. Welcome to Dalaman. Hopefully you enjoyed today's flight. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all that lot. And I will be back for another flight very soon. Goodbye for now.